The citizenship by investment industry is a $25 billion market that's transforming in ways that directly impact Bitcoiners and anyone who's looking to secure their freedom of movement. The incremental changes we saw in 2024 represented fundamental alterations to how these programs work, who they serve, and most importantly, how Bitcoiners can benefit from them. If you're new here, I'm Katie from Plan B Passport, and in this video, you will learn about all the changes in the Caribbean, as well as we will explore El Salvador's policies, look at what's happening with Portugal Golden Visa, and I'll also explain why Bitcoiners are becoming the most sought-after clients in this industry. I'll also share some exclusive predictions about new programs launching in 2025. Let's start. First, let's go with the Caribbean, where we witnessed what I can only call a direct attack on sovereignty in 2024. Late last year, Caribbean nations signed a new memorandum of agreement that completely upended their citizenship programs. While most people got the story wrong, they bought into this whole narrative that the United States and unelected bureaucrats in Brussels pushed for price standardization to prevent some imaginary race to the bottom. As well as they mentioned that they don't want countries to be selling access to the EU. But that's nowhere near the full truth. The reality is far more concerning. Considering the immigration situation in Europe, the EU is clearly not worried about people getting access to the EU on their new Caribbean passport, or the price of it. They're desperately trying to maintain control over smaller sovereign nations, preventing them from competing with each other and attempting to make their CBI offerings less attractive. This is just a classic play from their playbook. You know, when multiple countries offer similar services, natural market competition drives innovation, better services, and ultimately better benefits for individual citizens, right? So that's a basic free market economist, and that's something that EU seems to determine to stifle at every turn. Fighting expatriation of capital and talent is understandable, but in a capitalist environment, it happens by offering a better quality of the service and product at better pricing. At this point, the EU is unable to offer that, and it falls into this authoritarian regulatory place. By forcing price standardization and limiting competition, the EU revealed their true agenda: controlling how sovereign states operate their citizenship program. It's obviously an overreach of power, similar to their colonial era tactics where larger powers dictated terms to smaller nations. But here's the thing, the EU's influence is waning. As they continue to lose economic and geopolitical relevance on the global stage, their ability to control these programs will decrease. We are already seeing signs of nations preparing to break free and create their own innovative investment programs designed for people like you. At Plan B Passport, we made sure our clients got in before the price increase. Right before these changes took effect, something unprecedented happened. Our firm submitted more citizenship applications in a single month than ever before in the history of our company. The fascinating part is the majority chose Antigua and Barbuda, and this wasn't a random chance or clever marketing. Antigua emerged as the leader for one simple but crucial reason. They actually starting to understand Bitcoin and Bitcoiners. Traditionally, Bitcoin holders have faced three major challenges in citizenship and residency by investment programs: proving their source of funds, showing sufficient net worth, and actually making the investment ordination. Antigua has made all these three possible for Bitcoiners. They accept Bitcoin gains as legitimate source of funds. They starting to understand self-custody and have somewhat clear procedure for handling transaction and all that. That's pretty neat, and that's why we advised many of our clients to proceed with Antigua. Let's move on to the next piece of news: the launch of El Salvador Citizenship by Investment program. As a Bitcoiner in investment migration industry and as a passport girl in Bitcoin, this is my top breakthrough news of the year. Obviously, El Salvador is where things get really interesting for Bitcoiners. In February 2022, we posted an open letter to President Bukele about citizenship by investment program. And 2 years later, not only did they launch their program, but they've created something uniquely suited to Bitcoiners, a world's first program in this regard. This isn't just another citizenship by investment program, it's an opportunity to become part of the first Bitcoin native jurisdiction, which is why we've seen, despite the high price compared to other competitors in the Caribbean, still quite a solid interest towards this program. The El Salvador program differs from traditional citizenship by investment in several key ways. First, they fully understand and accept Bitcoin as a legitimate asset class. Well, it's a legal tender in a country, so duh. Second, their program is designed with digital natives in mind, streamlining many processes that are unnecessarily complicated in other jurisdictions. Therefore, the processing takes no more than 3-4 months versus the Caribbean, where we're now seeing pretty significant backlog, and my current estimate for the processing is 18 months. Third, and perhaps most importantly, the country itself building the whole ecosystem where Bitcoin holders can truly integrate into the economy and contribute to the rise of Bitcoin on both a local and international level. Moving to Portugal and their Golden Visa program. Yes, there are delays, very substantial ones, but there is more to the story here. New fund options are emerging, including something we've been quietly working on, potentially launching our own fund with Bitcoin only, Bitcoin first fund that will allow some self-custody, yet still making our investors eligible for Golden Visa program. We'll keep you posted on that. But what is also pretty exciting about Golden Visa is the private sector is stepping in to help clear the application backlog. Basically pro bono work. This is really a unprecedented move that shows just how valuable Golden Visa programs have become for local economies. And I believe this pro bono private sector works will actually make a significant change in the backlog scenario. As a bull market ramping up, we are seeing more interest toward Golden Visa program. That's how it usually goes. At the top of the bull market, you change the asset class, you go towards the fund investment in Portugal that will allow you to apply for citizenship 5 years from now. If EU passport is something you are considering through Golden Visa program, definitely reach out and let's talk about these different fund structures. All right, let's talk overall industry expansion. Take the brand new MOA program. It's a perfect example of how citizenship by investment is spreading to new regions. But the real story is the broader transformation of immigration system worldwide. We just had elections in the US. What Elon and Vivek will do in the United States government with Doge has already forced other countries to rethink their entire approach to governmental efficiency. And of course, this will directly affect immigration and citizenship programs worldwide. And this actually brings us to the EB-5 program in the United States, which I believe should be completely demolished and rebuilt. EB-5 is an investment-based path to permanent residency in the United States and then later citizenship. But in reality, this program has been rotten from the bottom to the top since its beginning, since its launch. It's just a crazy level of corruption and inefficiencies. And I believe Doge will make an attempt to resolve that with EB-5 as well. Let me share my predictions for 2025, and I may be saying it with some confidence, having correctly predicted El Salvador program launch 2 years ago. Well, first, Portugal processing times will be cut in half by 2026. I'm not being blindly optimistic here. I just truly believe in this whole private sector help. Private sector has always been way more efficient. We have the monetary incentive to do so, unlike the people who print money. Second one, the Caribbean market is heading for some challenges. I believe we'll see extended processing time and highly decreased interest in these traditional programs. However, I do want to watch out for new real estate investment options. Since the investment amount must stay at level due to the memorandum of agreement, countries will probably innovate in their real estate offerings to maintain competitiveness. And one of my other biggest predictions is that 2 more Latin American countries will launch citizenship by investment program. Let's see what 2025 has to offer on that regard. My prediction number 4, most significant for you, dear hodler, Bitcoiners will become the primary target market for every major investment migration company during this bull market. We're already seeing signs of this shift. Investment migration firms are hiring crypto experts, developing their Bitcoin-friendly processes, and on the marketing side, trying to appeal to all the hodlers out there. Nothing's changing for us in this regard. We've always been Bitcoin first investment migration firm. We've always served this audience. We have those processes in place. We always try to optimize them for Bitcoiners. So we will just continue be our white glove service for Bitcoiners, leveraging our deep understanding of Bitcoin and investment migration. It's like a niche within a niche, and we're here for it. That being said, we're also expanding our citizenship by descent offerings and transforming it from a traditional service to a more of a streamlined product-based approach, so Plan B passport clients can access a second passport far more easily and affordably. That's a wrap. That's all the things that I wanted to mention regarding 2024, as well as my prediction for 2025. Please subscribe to this channel so we can keep you up to speed when all my predictions actually realize, and you'll be the first one to know. Appreciate you watching this video. Have a good year.